Is your loved one or your client with dementia driving you nuts with their level of anxiety, pacing around the room for hours at a time, telling you the same thing over and over again, and you think you're just about to lose it? So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 ideas for activities and communications that will help you with dementia anxiety, so that by the end of this video, you will get a win with at least one of these suggestions, if not more, on dementia anxiety, so that you go from living in chaos and not knowing what to do to being able to have some peace and calm, which I think is something all of us caregivers deserve. And by the way, when you do get that win, be sure to comment that win down below so that we can celebrate your win. And while you're at it, subscribe and hit the notification bell and give us a little love tap on the like button. So with all that being said, let's hop right into the ideas. So the first idea is, when you are talking with your person with dementia, make sure to pare down and simplify the words that you're using. When someone gets dementia, they need longer to process what you're saying. So simplifying your words is something that becomes more and more important. And I'll share a quick story just to illustrate what I'm talking about. So my mentor worked at a facility for dementia patients, and she shared with me a story of one patient in particular named Monique. Monique was a very proud French lady, and every day my mentor would go up to Monique and say,
"Hey Monique, I hope you're having a great day. I have coffee right here. Would you like sugar, brown sugar, Splenda, cream, anything in your coffee at all? I mean, I know I love coffee. It's so good. It gets you really hyped up for the day."
and every day Monique would get more and more agitated and confused and overwhelmed, until one day my mentor showed up in front of Monique and Monique just threw her coffee on her. So what my mentor learned from that is to pare down her words and to simplify what she was saying. So the next day she approached Monique and she simply just said, "Coffee?" And Monique smiled and honestly looked kind of relieved, because she wasn't struggling to try to process everything that my mentor was trying to say to her. And it was overall just a much more enjoyable experience for everybody. So again, pare down what you're saying and simplify what you're saying. Second idea to stop dementia anxiety is to incorporate some kind of movement every day. Now, this can sound kind of intimidating, especially if you're the sole caregiver of your loved one, or you're the only one caring for a bunch of people, like I've been in the position of many, many times. However, it doesn't have to be a really structured workout. It really doesn't. As long as it's some kind of activity where they're moving their hands or their body, it is going to help with anxiety tremendously, especially if you incorporate this movement right before they're going to sundown, or maybe right after lunch when the energy levels start to kind of slump. This is a great time for some type of movement. And how I select the movement is I really base it off of who that person was before dementia. So were they a workaholic? Give them some kind of task or chore that they may have done, just really, really simplified down, like watering some plants, or maybe you having them sort some paperwork or something like that. If there's someone who loved to take walks, then yeah, have them take a walk. If you still need a little bit of help in figuring this out, I have an activity quiz down in the description box below that will absolutely help you figure this out, not to worry. Fourth idea is to set the mood for calm. And what I mean by set the mood is to have some kind of music be either the main activity or in the background. Music for dementia patients are hugely influential on their mood. So having something that's either familiar to them, that maybe they would have listened to in their teens or early 20s, or something just simply relaxing, will influence them to be a little bit less anxious, a little bit more calm, especially if you find yourself in a facility setting or a hospital setting. This is extremely helpful when trying to manage a bunch of people's anxiety all at the same time. The fourth idea is listen to the concern of your loved one or your client 5 minutes longer than you think you need to. And this is so important because a lot of caregivers get really hung up on trying to just make the behavior stop as quickly as possible. And they're not quite as concerned about getting to the root of that concern, which by doing so would actually solve the problem much longer term. So listening to that concern, even just by itself, will sometimes be enough to lower that anxiety and help you figure out how you can more meaningfully help your person with dementia. This may not always be the case for you, but it will get you a heck of a lot closer than trying to rush through the interaction or simply ignore them. Her fifth one is watching your body language, your tone of voice, and your facial expressions. This is so important because our folks with dementia take a lot more context clues from those things than you and I would, because other parts of their brain aren't working the way that they used to. And so a good example of this is one of my colleagues did some type of gesture like at the nurse's station. And one of our folks with dementia thought that he was talking about harming her. And she started pacing around and just getting really, really freaked out. Our folks read a lot into pretty small things. So here are a few of my suggestions. Anytime you do any type of activity with somebody with dementia, make sure to stand slightly to their side so that you aren't invading their personal space and you aren't in a threatening stance, like standing directly in front of them. Another thing you can do is no matter how frustrated you're getting, make sure to always have a calm tone of voice. And if you need to step away for a couple minutes in order to make that happen, please do that. Because when you have even a little bit of frustration in your voice, your person with dementia will pick that up and will get more and more and more anxious by listening to you. And finally, having your facial expression be relaxed, neutral is something that is also going to really help you out. Again, they read a lot into facial expressions. So make sure to have calm tone of voice, a very calm facial expression, and non-threatening body language. So there you have it. We have our 5 ideas to help stop anxiety right in its tracks with our folks with dementia. We want to simplify and pare down our words, include movement right after lunch or right before you know they're going to sundown. You want to set a calm mood with music. You want to take a little extra time to listen to their concerns and watch your body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice. Make sure to try at least one of these 5 activities or communication strategies and see if you can get a win when it comes to your loved one or your client's dementia anxiety. And let us know down in the comments. We want to celebrate you. And just in case you're also looking for a community where you want to share your wins, join our Facebook community. It's so awesome. Everybody shares their wins, everybody shares their concerns, and we all problem solve together. It's an awesome time. That link is down below as well. And with all that being said, I will see you in the next one.